Hey, Coy. I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes for everybody to get here because this is a really serious situation that I want to talk about. Like, I really feel obligated to talk about this just because of my own beliefs and values and everything else. So, I'm gonna give a couple of minutes for everybody to get here. I'm gonna go ahead and announce in the Discord that I'm streaming, and whoever wants to join can join. But this is gonna be a just chatting stream today because, yeah, like I said, I feel like it's really important to go over exactly what happened, how it happened, and why I'm bringing it up myself as somebody who's in the United States. I know, Boo. What's the matter? Come here. Come here. Come here. What's the matter? What's the matter, Sassy? What is it? What is it? I know. I'm about to go too. Alright, sorry. If I haven't answered anybody's messages, it's because I have the OBS window minimized, so I don't see the chats yet. I'm not playing Skyrim. Hello, Pokemon Gura. I'm just gonna wait a couple minutes for everybody to get here. While I'm actually here, let me just go ahead and front load this by saying I'm using this channel, Lo-Fi Geek. I'm gonna go ahead and subscribe and like this video. They're doing a live stream right now for no copyrighted lo-fi music. Whenever I'm just talking, just kind of chilling with you guys and stuff, I really like listening to lo-fi because for me it's relaxing personally. Although it's not everybody's cup of tea. Give me just a second here. Forgot the gloves. Twitch considers otherwise. Well, refresh the page. It's no longer there. So now I'm just chatting. Also, wow, quite a few people here for just chatting. Thank you guys for being here. So, what if I got a super low taper fade? Okay, hold up. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hold up now. Let me show you what I'm going to do. Let me show you what I'm doing. Let me also show you why I'm trying to work out and become buff Ibo. If you want to know kind of what I look like, here's a good picture. This isn't exactly what I look like, but this is I have like a bit more of a square jaw, for like like a little shorter chin, little square jaw, but this is kind of what I look like. Got the blue eyes, everything. So I'm trying to get buff so I can look like this guy. I want the chiseled chin. I actually had a chiseled chin, about a year ago, and then I kind of quit working out for a bit. But all that aside, I'm growing my hair out like this guy, trying to get the chiseled chin. Pretty much want to cosplay this dude. That Cameron Charity stream, yes, Lobos JR, he 100% inspired me to pretty much make a charity live stream to St. Jude's. It's all Lobos' fault. Thanks to him, I'm giving mine to St. Jude's. How could you, Lobos? You amazing human being. But yeah, hey Ed saying, yeah, I'm just gonna chat today. Sorry. Let's actually go ahead and get into it. Feels like most of the people are here. Yeah, sunken in cheats. Oh, well, Oreo. Then eat some food. Eat some food and work out. And if you're actually like starving, then I'll help you. I can give you some food money. Oh god, that's a dangerous precedent to set. Well, shit, whatever. If you're starving, I'll give you some food money. Just ask, whatever. I mean, obviously, I won't be able to do it every day or every week or every month, but I'll help people who are in need. But if you're just not eating enough, eat, dude. Focus on your health. Yeah, I know. I'm going over the entire situation. Let me actually go ahead and share where I figured out about this from. So I'm gonna address it, the whole thing, while I'm here. Let's go ahead and get started on what's going on. Can be good for some jawlines, yes, but only if you're also fit. My cheeks were sunken in a bit because of how much weight I lost and how buff I was getting, but if you're like thin and you got sunken in cheeks, that's dangerously unhealthy. Seen changes, but not in places you want to see. Yeah, that's fair. For me, a lot of my issue, like I got good arms now. I'm like, I got some pretty buff arms. Got some great thighs. Like, oh my god, I got some thick thighs. Which weird topic for this discussion, but yeah, it's just the belly mostly. That's the hardest part to get rid of now. Anyway, right. So here's the first person I figured out about this from. It's Muujin. Muujin was the first person I figured out about this whole martial law situation from. And I'm going to go ahead and go over, his video. I'm not going to, watch it or whatever. Let me actually go ahead and like this video. I'm not really going to subscribe to him because his type of content isn't normally what I watch. I don't really like watching a lot of, drama, slot, political content. But I will like this video because it really concisely breaks down what happened. So pretty much what happened, it actually got pretty wild. So, but we're going to go over this part right here. But first of all, here's what happened. This guy right here, the South Korean president. What was his name again? I had his name pulled up right here. Yoon Suk Yeol, I believe is how you pronounce it. But he declared martial law. Oh, hey, Shimura, good to see you. Future cabbage farmer. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah, I know. So here's what I was... here's what I was thinking at first. I shit you not. Here's what I thought. I thought this guy actually declared martial law so he could just send Johnny Somali to the fucking gulag. I thought this guy... I was about to say, honestly, goated move. I was about to be on this guy's side, because I shit y'all out. When I saw South Korea declare martial law, I thought it was because of Johnny Somali. I actually thought it was because of Johnny Somali. Let me actually lower this a little bit so I can actually, see my body language and everything I'm doing and stuff. But I actually thought this guy declared martial law because he was just going to grab Johnny Somali and be like, fuck the process, get out of here. And just either throw him in the gulag or just kick his ass out the country. Which, if they kicked him out of the country, that'd probably be what he wanted. So I thought he was going to throw Johnny Somali in the gulag. But then I, actually looked into it and I was like, oh, wow. What the fuck? So here's what happened. What's his name again? Shoot. I really don't care about mispronouncing his name. What was his name again? Here we go. Yoon Suk Yeol. I don't care if that's how his name is pronounced. I don't care. I don't care about his feelings. I think this is one of the most disgusting human beings on the entire planet. This guy is disgusting. This guy makes me sick. And this entire situation makes me sick to my stomach. And that's why I want to talk about it. I will not talk about political stuff usually on this channel. I will not. I refuse to engage with people who are just extremists. But this type of situation is something I can't just sit back and ignore. Because it can happen to anyone. It can happen to any Democratic group. It can happen to any republic. It can happen to any, whatever other type of government out there has, ruling parties voted in by the people. So, pretty much what happened was this guy became unpopular. And because he became unpopular, he had his funding cut for his political campaigns. It's obvious his political career was about to end. He tried declaring, as the president, emergency martial law. And whenever South Korea, the president can have two types of martial law. Let me actually pull it up because this guy broke it down. I did a little bit of research myself into it to make sure, this guy's up to snuff. And I dug around for about an hour and a half. And yeah, it's pretty much, it seems to be pretty on point. This guy seems to have some pretty accurate information here. I'm trying to pull it up where he actually brought it up about the martial law. 1 second here. I could probably just check the transcripts, couldn't I? Yeah, again, I don't want to just watch this video because, obviously, even if I do have stuff to add to it, I want to make sure, I'm not pulling views away from this guy or whatever. I know there's like security martial law and emergency martial law. That's pretty much what I was going to get at. But whenever they do security martial law, it's for like, smaller scale threats. There's like a process they got to go through and everything else. But oh, oh yeah, get flipped, bro. Yeah, pretty much. That was a pretty funny one. But whenever you declare, as a president in South Korea, if you declare emergency martial law, you pretty much have grounds to do almost anything you want on the soil. And the National Assembly, they're pretty much the only ones that can pretty much stop it. They have to have like a majority vote, and then they can stop it. Now, let me go ahead and pull up this. Oh, jeez, where was it? Oh, the general guy here. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, yeah, and Kim Jong-un. Yeah, again, that's why that's like the main reason why I wanted to talk about this, because I hate North Koreans leaders. Kim Jong-un and his generals and stuff. I think they are not some of the most despicable people on the planet. I think if you agree with Kim Jong-un, you're a danger to society, and you need to be put in a mental facility for the rest of your life. Or at least until you understand, like, why he's just disgusting as a human being. So, this guy pretty much tried to start a dictatorship overnight. And the only way anybody, like, the emergency martial law can be overturned is pretty much by the National Assembly voting it out. And the Chinese government. The Chinese government, to a lesser extent, they're like second in my list. I would say, in terms of, how I would rank the most disgusting people in the world, North Korean leaders, Chinese leaders, Russian leaders. Putin and his crowd. They're like third on the list. They're like the most egregious. Now, there's probably some warlords and less settled parts of the country and stuff, and they're even worse. Like just objectively. But I'm talking about like people who like the world knows about. So again, it's going to get a little charged in here. It's going to get a little political. If you're not comfortable with that, feel free to leave. There's no Monster Hunter today. I really need to talk about this, because this is something that is really near and dear to me. I am somebody who's been abused, who's been controlled, who's been hurt in literally just about every single way anybody can get hurt. And I have seen the tactics these people employ, and pretty much it's literally one-to-one with like the tactics of the people who've hurt me over the years. Yeah, it's the same exact tactics they use. And it's gotten to the point where I am like violently opposed to these sorts of things. Like, there was one guy who really, he just did something really, he basically tried holding me hostage. And yeah, it got really serious. I had a frying pan. I almost did what was it? Who was it that has a frying pan in Team Fortress 2? Was it Scout? Yeah, because I think it was like Scout smacking soldier over the head. Yeah, I almost did a Scout. It's like, that's how seriously angry I get when I see these sorts of things. But of course the guy was like right in front of me and stuff, so yeah. Cuba, not on the list. Well, I'd say first, second, third. Cuba is... It's a little better than it was before. It's nowhere near where it needs to be for like people to have freedoms and lead happy lives and stuff. But also Venezuela. I forgot about Venezuela. Either way, right now I want the focus. Frying pan is all classes. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I was just thinking about the cinematic. But pretty much right now I'm just going to focus on South Korea. But there are some disgusting leaders out there, and this applies to all of them. Cuba, Venezuela, Russia, China, South Korean president now. North Korea, especially. But yeah, pretty much what happens is if the president declares emergency martial law, he can arrest anyone, he can silence any news publications, he controls everything. And the reason why he did this is because he wasn't going to get another term, and his popularity went down because he's a shit, disgusting scumbag of a human being, and he doesn't know how to do his job. So this general guy he elected, hold up, this guy Mujin's, he's going to say, I really didn't want to play in this video, but I really don't remember his name. Army Chief, oh, here it is. Park On-soo. Is that
the law commander was announced. It was going to be a man by the name of Park An-soo.
Park An-soo. I don't know if that's the proper way to announce it. I don't know if it's An-soo or An-soo, but pretty much what happened was the first thing this guy like signed into office was pretty much anything banning like the National Assembly and going to the National Assembly building. So pretty much what they did was they took the military and they spread it around the National Assembly building, and they prevented people from entering. Now, do y'all see where this is going? If you can't get into the National Assembly building, you can't overturn the emergency martial law. So this guy was trying to immediately stop his opposition so that he could seize power and basically do a coup on the South Korean government. Yeah, some people even cheered for it. Yeah, here's some of my input. This is just past the news. This is my personal input because I'm gonna be a little emotionally charged with this. A lot of the Western countries, and especially the United States, here's what they're worried about on Twitter. And, you know, I'm glad they actually got this spread around to everyone, but here's what pissed me off. This pissed me the fuck off. And that's what I mean when I say I'm gonna be swearing. They were worried about their K-pop bands not going to events and performing and stuff. They were worried about their entertainment from South Korea. They didn't give a shit about the South Korean people. They didn't give a shit that this was a blatant, like, Kim Jong-un North Korea style tactic. They didn't care about the people. They cared about the entertainment. A lot of the people, not all of them. You know, and as soon as I actually, like, looked at some of the messages on Twitter, and it is, like, you know, probably, like, at least 30 or 40, and, like, possibly as high as 60%. I didn't really get a good gauge because I only, like, scrolled through the messages for about 15, 20 minutes, but there were so many people talking about, oh, my favorite K-pop band. Dude, your favorite K-pop band is going to be in a gulag. Because this guy is literally trying to enslave the country. And it's like, you know, there's a lot of... I'm gonna touch into this slightly. There's a lot of, you know, debate and stuff. And people in the West are really touchy about, you know, slavery and everything else. That's how I see this type of situation. Whenever I see... hey, this person is trying to take control of an entire country. I see North Korea. I see China. I see concentration camps. I see genocides. I see slaves, enslaved people. That's exactly what this leads to. And this is why nobody can ever be a singular ruling power in a country, or even like a small group of ruling people. Oh, not just the last one? Sorry, Nyan, I missed your last message. Oh, you're tuning this one out? Yeah, no problem, Neon. Again, that is perfectly fine because, again, it is like a serious topic, it is a heavy topic, and it is an emotionally charged topic. So, again, anybody who doesn't want to just be here, that's fine. Because my channel is primarily around Monster Hunter, and that is what I want to keep the focus on. And if it was like, you know, oh, let's say Trump hired an anti-vaxxer as the head of the CDC, or appointed him. I don't know if it was Trump or somebody else did it. Yeah, whoever appointed the head of the CDC as an anti-vaxxer, they're a fucking idiot. But I'm not going to sit there and make videos or live streams about it because, like, you know, that's not what I do. That's like other people's channels. But now that I'm talking about it, I will touch on it real quick. It's stupid. Why the fuck would you do that? That's stupid. He thinks oil and energy consumption were... I'm getting off track here. Hold up. I missed some context. Hold up. Oh, God, I did miss some messages. Wow. Got flipped in the Chinese government. I got that. Okay, 110 state martial law denied. But, guys, it's because of Johnny Somali. Full support. Oh, that would have been such a good excuse, I'd say. That probably would have won it. They're on the same level? I gotcha. It's all classes. You're tuning this one out? Alright. What happened with your country? Oh, okay, Neon. I thought you said nobody gave a flying fuck about the country, South Korea. I misread one of those words. Sorry, it's like really tiny text. Whatever happened with your country, I'm not sure where you're from. I am really sorry about that, and I'll talk with you privately about it later. There is, like, you know, you're a part of the community, and you're, like, helping moderate and stuff, so I want to see what I can do, you know, with you, for you, long term. So, I'll touch on you about that later, because I can't understand that. But anyway, so again, I do apologize. But again, touching back on what happened with South Korea, the first thing they did was pretty much ban any interaction with the General Assembly. So, because of that, technically, legally, they couldn't come together and vote this martial law out of whatever. Which I feel like they're probably going to adjust some laws to, like, make it so where, you know, oh, you can't do this anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised. But again, what happened after that is people actually came together, and they weren't like rioting per se, but they pretty much came together, and they were like all around the General Assembly, and they're like, nah, son, don't do this. And like they were getting a little rough with the guards, but I don't think like people were killed or anything crazy happening, because every single person in South Korea, like every man is like conscripted to serve in the military. And whenever, and women can join if they want as well. So pretty much almost every single one of these people who are like here on this screen, they might know these people, or at least they might not care. They know their tactics. They know like how to tell, if they're serious. And I'm pretty sure, I feel bad for the people in the military here, because this is when they're like, at first I tried joining the Marines at one point, and they gave me the choice of coming back, and I had full intentions of coming back. And then after Trump's whole, tell North Korea we got a bigger nuke button type of thing, I was like, yeah, I'm not joining the military, because I don't want to do anything like this. I'm the type of person to ask questions and do what is right. If I was on SEAL Team 6 and Trump was like, or Biden was like, or anybody else was like, hey, I need you to assassinate my political opponent for the national security, I'm not going to say, yeah, I'll do that. I'm going to say, why? What did he do? Where's your proof? Because I'm just way too fair process. And of course, like I said, I'm struggling with some mental stuff. Like, I'm trying to get past all that. Like, mentally, I'm really depressed, really anxious all the time. But if I can get past that, I'm going to try to be a cop. Probably. Maybe. We'll see. But I just want to help people. I want to help people. I like to uphold the law. Not just the law, but what is right. And the thing about being a police officer, because I did get a little bit of training in it, is that you can uphold what is right, outside of what you're commanded to do. Let's say there's a serious, deadly event going on, and there's a threat, like a dangerous threat, and your lieutenant, for example, says, oh, you can't go out there because it's too dangerous. You can say, well, screw you, because people will die if I don't go out there. And because those people are going to die, innocents are in danger, you can just go out there and do it. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm getting out of context. It's your channel, you view. Yeah, no, that's no problem, Jan. I'll see you later, man. I'll poke you after the stream. But pretty much, all that aside, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get off context again. Pretty much what happened was that people came around the National Assembly building, and yeah, they just gave them a whole bunch of crap. And then the opponent, the political opponent for this guy, he actually live streamed himself
into the National Assembly by hopping over a fence. Like, this is something that you don't see at all. This is crazy.
Yep, and pretty much what happened was that's this guy right here. That's the guy. And there's these people who are trying to push him over, and other political people as well, because they they're like, hey, yeah, we want you to get in there and like overturn this. Talk about capitalizing. Hell yeah. No, that dude's... I wouldn't be surprised if this dude's going to be the next president, 100%. Like, this guy, he's going to win. And I hope he wins. Okay, I can't say I hope he wins. I don't know enough about him to say I hope he wins, but if he's like this all the time, if he's like, yeah, pro-freedom, pro-the people, all that stuff, even if he's kind of an asshole or whatever else, I don't care if somebody's an asshole if they're still a good person and put the people first at the end of the day. I give Logan Paul a lot of shit on my channel. And it's because he's just a genuinely terrible person. And like, yeah, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, they're kind of assholes. And if they were just assholes, that was fine. But Logan Paul's endangered his pets. He just kind of gets them for the clout and then gets rid of them. He's allegedly, with lots of evidence, but allegedly, scammed people out of their entire life savings. There are people who might have freaking killed themselves. And I can say that because I don't care about advertisers. There are people who committed suicide probably because Logan Paul was like, yeah, give me your life savings, bro. I'm gonna pump it up to the moon. And then they gave him the life savings and they lost all their money in like cryptos or something. They might have killed themselves. So yeah, I don't like Logan Paul. And it's the same thing with this guy. The reason why I want to talk about this is like, this is a really, really serious thing where somebody who was a political, somebody who's like the top of the country try to seize power for themselves. And it's like, that's bad. It's like, and it's happened a lot over the years, but the last time this really happened was like decades ago. And it really sucks because this can happen to anyone. and this is why I want to talk about it. I'm pretty much saying like a call to action. Like, if you see this happening, don't allow it. Don't just sit there and be like, oh, well, it's not my problem. Because everybody says it's not my problem until it's their problem. And like I said, I got some training as a cop. I was going to be a cop. I was about to be. I was in the academy. And then pretty much somebody took what I said out of context. I was talking about, like threats in front of a building full of people. And, the instructor said, well, hey, don't use non-lethal stuff because they're still using lethal rounds, towards you. They're like using lethal measures to try to take you out. So you have to use lethal measures because at the very least, just try to aim and try not to hit anybody. So, I was like, I got a little upset by that because I was like, well, if I'm close enough, I can use non-lethal measures and I don't have to worry about anybody getting hurt. But yeah, somebody took that out of context, got me fired. I was actually about to join the police department over here because they did an investigation. They realized he was wrong, but they considered me too much trouble because I complained that I might be getting investigated. So a little bit of IBO lore. But yeah, pretty much, that's one of the reasons why I want to be a cop, because I don't even remember what I was going off here. I mean, I'm still really scatterbrained about this, but, this can happen to anyone. Like, this can happen anywhere. This can happen right here in America. Pretty much, what was confirmed by the Senate is the president has the power of a king now, pretty much. It's literally what they said. They can say, if it's for national security, it's whatever. They can pardon people, they can pardon themselves, and like, I'm seeing this country kind of go in that direction now, where I'm worried that at some point one of our presidents are going to try to seize power over the entire country. But, like, we have whole branches of legislature to kind of prevent that, so it's not quite as bad. But the National Assembly is, like, pretty much all North Korea has. Or not North Korea, South Korea has. And it's like, not just with South Korea, it's with any country. If you see this happening, I would strongly encourage you, get together with a bunch of people and protest it right then. Like, obviously, I'm not saying put your lives in danger, but pretty much what these people were doing, do that. Don't let your freedoms be taken away. Don't let your right to live as a human being with your own wants and needs be taken away. Because at the end of the day, say what you want about any country where people don't have freedoms, but any freedom you don't have, whether it's freedom of speech to say the most, evil, disgusting things you want, freedom of religion to worship Satan, freedom of the press to post, slanderous stuff. Like, as long as you got checks and balances, it's a necessary evil for me as much as I hate it. I really wish that, like, let's say KKK members, they could be arrested based off of their rhetoric, but that would be violating freedom of speech. I wish people who, like, talk about making baby sacrifices to Satan, I wish they could be arrested and put in a mental hospital. But that would be, that would be breaking their freedom of religion as long as they don't actually go through with it. I wish that people in the press who were, like, literally bought out by corporations and making slanderous hit pieces and then correcting themselves like, oh, my bad, I didn't mean to do it. I wish those people could be arrested or at least sued for all their life savings for, like, slander. But, and like, it's guaranteed to go through as long as it can be proven that they actually did it. Like, even when just, like if they could be like, oh, it's obvious they did it, and then they could just lose all their money. Then, but that would be, like, against freedom of the press. So, it really is, like, let's say Australia, for example. I could theoretically live in Australia. I love it there. But at the same time, if you hurt somebody's fifis by saying something mean or racist, you're going to jail for hate speech. And as much as I can understand that, as much as I can agree to some extent that hate speech of most kinds, if you're just like saying, oh, screw you and your entire race or religion or whatever for this reason, then it's like, okay, it's not that bad. They just have a chip on their shoulder, but they're not doing anything. But, people who are, like, making assemblies and stuff, and, like, preaching to a crowd of people like, oh, this specific demographic of people is awful. Like, in Australia, you can get arrested for that, which, fair enough. But at the same time, that person who's like, oh, I hate this group of people, but he's just got a chip on his shoulder, and, he's not, he's not just doing anything, then, and he's just kind of keeping it to himself, he can still get arrested by making that chip on his shoulder known to other people. Just like, I don't like these people for this reason. And even though that's wrong, and that's disgusting, and, I think that guy needs to be punched in the face, At the same time, it's still his, it's still getting arrested for that is too much. It makes you it makes you subservient to somebody else where you do not have a right as a human being to express yourself freely. So there is a fine line, and I am very, I'm not like anarchist, I'm not like anti-government, I'm just anti-corruption, I'm anti-evil, I'm anti just making people's lives miserable because you don't like them or you don't agree with them. And the fact that this guy came into power, this is why I want to talk about it. It's because people need to know this happened. Even if it's just for my tiny channel, even if 10 of you come away from this wow, I didn't, 2 or 3 of you came away from this wow, I didn't know this happened. This is awful. I got to make sure this doesn't happen, over here. Whether it's in America, Europe, the Philippines, Guava, wherever else it is, Java, Guava, whatever place that is. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with country names, but, I just want to bring attention to this because at the end of the day, if you're going to sit there and, if people are going to sit back and be like, oh, that's not my problem. Oh, that's not my problem. Oh, that's not my problem. Now remember where I was getting at with this. When I was in the police academy, there's people talking about, there's one of the officers, one of the trainees, their brother was a drug dealer, and they thought he was the most amazing person in the world because he was a drug dealer that was trying to support their family. And to that, I have to say, BS. And, there's oh, doing evil for good, whatever else. There's a fine line between that and just taking the easy way out when you have other options. Here's what upset me about them. They were going to be a cop. And when I said, oh, well, I pretty much want to get drug dealers off the streets so they're not giving drugs to kids because they do that. So get them hooked as kids, and then when they become adults, they're just obsessed. It's just this corruption, this deep-seated corruption, and it's because, personal bias. This guy, he didn't want to lose his power. He's his feelings were hurt because he wasn't popular, and he was like, you know what? I'm just going to take control of everything. And it can happen anywhere. It can happen, here in America even. And obviously, it's probably going to end up the same way, but what if it doesn't? What if he succeeded? We'd have 2 North Koreas. And then it's yeah, that'd be the worst thing ever. Another country that's just, oh, I'm all about myself and me and my selfish wants and needs. Screw the people. And it's and even here and in some places in the police department, I don't know if that person actually got through the training. They probably did because they were pretty good at the trainee stuff like I was. But, they just kept their mouth shut all the time, so they stayed below the radar. But this is what really upset me about it. It's that I have been homeless. I've had to take care of my dogs. I've been homeless with my dogs. I have almost starved to death. I was, right at death's door. I have been hurt. I've been taken advantage of. I've been stabbed in the back. I should have grown up to be just like these people, wanting power, wanting control, wanting to just say, screw the world, and just wanting to lash out and stuff. And pretty much that's what this guy did. He lashed out. He wanted his control, and he wanted to lash out because he was losing control because he was terrible at his job. And at the end of the day, if you're terrible at being a president, just take the L and don't be a president. Go and do whatever else. And, if you're just, I have had all these horrible things happen to me, but I also understand that I'm a human being, and other people are human beings. These people who wronged me, they deserve to be punished for it. And I have every right to be mad at them. My family threw me to the wolves from the time I was 18. They said, well, good luck. Because most of them were broke. They couldn't afford to take anybody else in. Some of them just didn't like me. Because when I was a kid, I was an ADHD-riddled, spastic imbecile. And, I had no sense of tact because I had no social skills because I had no friends. Actually no friends. My friends were dogs. So I'm a social expert with dogs, but, with people, I still struggle. And even so, I don't hate my family. I call them, I don't let them forget it. I'm hey, yeah, so you remember that time you kind of just left me to die in the streets? Great. I still call them, and I have a bit of a grudge about that. I'm really bitter about that. And I make that known, but they're still my family, and I still care about them, and they're still people. And obviously the ones who were broke and couldn't afford to, that's a different situation. But just this situation where, if you see political candidates who, there's warning signs, just keep an eye on them. See what they do. If you see them doing something shady, spread the message. Put it on the internet. Let everybody know. Because, for example, the head of the CDC, he's an anti-vaxxer. That's going to kill children. if he starts implementing like anti-vax laws, he's literally going to kill children so his fifis don't get hurt. So like, he can be like, oh yeah, yeah, no, it's fine. He doesn't want to look at smallpox. He doesn't want to look at polio. He doesn't want to look at measles being almost wiped out. And monkeypox is going to be the next pandemic or something. It's not an actual official declaration. It's just, monkeypox is here right now. It's the current threat in the U.S. It's like that seems to be the big disease everybody's talking about right now. And then we've got an anti-vaxxer heading the CDC. So it's like, is he going to do the smart thing and keep his mouth shut and not, and just let the vaccines roll out? Or is he going to start implementing anti-vax laws? Because that's going to kill children. That's going to kill innocent people because he wants to get people to use more oil and use more energy and stuff because he's got, stakes in these companies or whatever. So it's like seeing things like this and pointing it out can pretty much prevent this sort of thing from happening. And I'm sorry, I got derailed again. So pretty much ended on a happy note. I believe it was 190 of the parliament members. Yeah, here it is. There's like 190 of the National Assembly members. They came together. They voted it out. Now, oh yeah, the head of the CDC is an anti-vaxxer. I shit you not. The head of the CDC is now an anti-vaxxer. Let me finish with this. Let me finish with this before I go on a huge tangent. But I'll pull it up real quick. He's actually on video saying that vaccines did not contribute in any meaningful way to increase lifespans over the last 50 years. Or over the last 100 years or something like that. He said specifically, it's because of energy and oil production, like consumption. Like the consumption of energy. Like that energy use. Not vaccines. Not preventing deadly diseases. I'm getting derailed again. So again, this guy, he pretty much came and like these guys, 190 members, they actually managed to get into the National Assembly building with the help of the people, and they barricaded this place up. They barricaded it up so bad. Hold up, let me find it out here. Let me find the barricade stuff. Oh, where is it? Right here. Oh, hold up.
Look at all this furniture in front of the door.
Yeah, look at it. This is the front entrance right here. They barricaded that so the military wouldn't get in. Now keep in mind, again, people in South Korea, all men in South Korea are conscripted to serve in the military. So they're using the military's tactics against them. And so this is just one. I was like, oh, okay, they could probably still get in there. Let me see if I can pull up the other one. Hold up. Oh, no, here it is. Look at this. This shit is wild. I saw this. I was like, what are they doing? This is insane. Imagine getting past that, like just in like full heavy gear. I'm talking, these people got like 70 pounds of gear, like 50 to 70 pounds of gear on them. It's actually insane how much weight like the military uses when they're like deploying stuff. Because like I said, I was in basic a little bit. I got to experience some of that. I had like a full rucksack on my back, and the bedroll or whatever, and I believe there was like a secondary pack we also had as well. I can't remember what it was for. One sec. Sorry, I had a cough. Oh, that's an entire country's population against you. Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. They went and they blockaded off, this part of the building, and the military couldn't really get in with enough time. Now they did manage to get it signed, like I said, and there's this as well, all this furniture and stuff. It's just absolutely crazy stuff. Oh, speaking of Jolly and Somali, if y'all didn't hear, the guy who punched him in the face is now arrested. So rip to that guy. He's a national hero. He's going to come out to people cheering and stuff. Or at least I'll be cheering. I want to know when he comes out. If anybody has any updates on that guy who punched Johnny Somali and he got arrested for it, please let me know. Let it be known, Ibro does not condone violence. I do not condone violence against individuals. I do believe karmic justice is a valid way of things being done. So if something bad happens to you because you're a disgusting, degenerate human being and a sociopath, a self-prescribed sociopath, then I think that whatever happens to you shouldn't be at the fault of whatever happens. So if you get punched in the face, I think you should just take it on the chin and move on. So if anybody knows what happened to that guy who punched Johnny Smalley in the face, got arrested for it, please let me know, because dang, I feel bad for that guy. I want to know when he comes out, because when he does, I'll be cheering. I'm gonna send him well wishes and stuff. But anyway, right. So like I said, 190 people in the assembly, they actually signed, the petition to get the martial law overturned. Now, here's the problem. The president has to acknowledge it. And I believe whenever they signed it, it was only a couple hours into the whole thing that was actually, all the members got in and signed, like 190 members, they got in and they signed it and stuff. And I believe that it was only like a couple hours in, like 2, maybe 3 hours in. I could be wrong. I don't remember 100%. I didn't get all the details around, but I think it was only a couple hours in. And the president was not willing to acknowledge it. But finally, he did acknowledge it about 6 hours in. And he backs down from martial law and he withdrew the troops. So it is a happy ending this time. But I'm still angry. I'm still upset because even here in America, in our own country, like, let's say, for example, there's already a whole bunch of, like, deep-seated corruption because corporations, politicians paid off by corporations, and people just have money in stocks or whatever. Like, people who, like, profit from people's unfortunate situations. Like, let me go ahead and show y'all what kind of place I live in. Like, most of the stuff in this room isn't mine. Like, I would say 3/4 of the stuff in the room isn't mine, but here's like, the situation I'm in. Right? Like, this is all where I live. That's not my bed. That's not even my pillow. The gray one is. But that pillow back there, that's not mine. The dog just kind of, like, took it over. And, yeah, none of that stuff back there is mine. Like, way back there. None of that stuff is mine. But what I had to do was, because I have dogs, right? Which, I understand if you're in a bad situation, focus on yourself. But these dogs are all I have. Here in America, it's like you have to go through a whole process to get home. There's no, like, emergency housing. There's no, like, oh, well, you're in the cold and the rain and you're alone and you're probably going to die. Which I don't think I was going to die. It was definitely uncomfortable, but I know I could survive. But, I was still really scared. And it's like, oh, well, I called churches. I called homeless shelters. And the biggest thing is because I got these dogs, because they're all I have in terms of, like, love and affection and emotional support. Just, like, nobody wanted to take me in. And it's like, just all around America, there's places that just profit off of people being homeless, being, poor, being whatever else. And it's like, even here in America, one sec. Okay, right. Even here in America, it's like, if you start out at the bottom, like, if you start out down here, you're not getting up here without a lot of luck. You're not getting up here with a lot of luck. And what really sucks is that most people don't even need to get up here. And people don't seem to understand that. Everybody seems to think that everybody wants money. And if you look at the internet, it's like, and you look at the scammers, and you look at the grifters, and you look at all that. It might seem like that. But let's take me as an example. Let's say this is the graph right here. This is where I'm at the bottom, broke, well, kind of not really broke anymore. I got a job, it's paying well, but, unsteady life, kind of living check to check, kind of getting better at that. But let's say, I'm, like, slightly down here. Like, I'm right up here, and I was just down here. Like, broke, homeless, whatever else. I'm, like, slightly up here. I got a place to stay. Somebody was nice enough to take me in. I got a place to put my dogs. I'm paying my bills. I can finally do a giveaway for Monster Hunter Wilds. And it's great. And I'm just trying to get around here. I'm stable. I have a savings. I have some emergency spending, and whatever else. But it's like, that's the thing with political leaders and politicians. A lot of companies will profit off of people's unfortunate situations. So they want to keep those people in those situations, and those are the type of people that will say, try to do a coup and seize power over the country. And because they're always powerful people, it's like, it's not until something this drastic happens that something can even be done. And the worst part is this guy was trying to be sneaky about it. He did it at like 10:57 p.m. is when he made the announcement, because that's when a lot of people were asleep. So imagine if he did this like during the day. It could be a lot worse. People could have died if people didn't already die. Or even worse, like, it would just been like a much larger movement against him, and it probably would have been resolved a lot quicker. But there were people who sat there and slept through it. There were people who went to bed. Then the president tried seizing power of the country. There was riots and fighting in the streets. He got overturned, and now the country's like kind of back to normal. And it's like, whatever. And this all happened over the space of like 6 hours. 11 to 5 p.m. like Korean time, like 10:57 to like 4 something a.m. So it's like, the fact that this happened is just something that I wanted to bring attention to, because Again, it can happen anywhere. Like, again, it can happen here in America. I'm already seeing it happen in America. Like, Canada is really bad about, like, the corporations seizing control and taking all the power. And, you know, pretty much paying politicians to pass bills and stuff. But here in America, like, that's starting to happen. Like, if it hasn't already. Like, corporations control a lot of what goes on in America, and people don't seem to realize that. And that's not just conspiracy theory. That's really just look at the evidence. Look at what benefits who. And it's like I don't know. I guess it's why I try to be so drastic. Like, oh, I don't want to play Call of Duty. You know, I don't want to play the Assassin's Creed games. Whatever. If I do, I'll pirate it. You know, fuck you, Ubisoft. I don't care. Which, you know, I'm not gonna pirate it for legal reasons, obviously, or at least I'm not gonna do it on stream anyway. But yeah, it's like the fact that this happened in South Korea, it shows it can happen anywhere. Because I didn't even realize things were this bad in South Korea, and I kind of keep up to date a little bit with South Korean, you know, government and stuff, just like, because they're right beside North Korea, and I hate North Korea, and I like study North Korea because I'm like, what can be done? What's it going to take? And if, like, it's honestly going to take a world war to pretty much turn North Korea around or turn China around or whatever. It's going to take an entire world war, so it's not feasible right now. But the fact that people just kind of accept it happening, and, you know, this is why I was getting emotionally charged. It's just people accept these sorts of things happening, and they don't think about the human cost. They don't think about how many people are going to get hurt, how many people are going to get killed, what's going to happen to their quality of life and their way of life. They don't think about it. And like the last time this happened in South Korea, it was in like 1980 it was like 1980, and there was like a 400 and something day martial law leading into 1981 where people got killed, the press got silenced, you know, political opponents were killed, you know, whatever else, and then finally, you know, it got reversed. And this is like that was like the last time martial law was declared. It could have been a lot worse than what happened today, or, you know, last night. So just a lot of people are like, and I guess it's kind of like my point of that. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up, you know, what I'm saying here, but a lot of people say it's not my problem. It's not my problem. The fact is, it is your problem. It's everybody's problem. It's all of our problems. It's like Neon. You know, I'm not sure where Neon lives, but he said nobody seemed to care when it happened to his country. And if I was a content creator, whenever that happened, I would have spread the word. You know, I would have raised the whole stink about it, because the fact of the matter is, people don't care unless it's happening to them. But the problem is, when it's happening to you, it's already happened to everybody else. So there's nothing you can do. So why not help everybody else make it not happen? And this is honestly just a shout out to South Korea. The South Korean people, like those of you in South Korea who was out there on the streets just stopping this from happening, bless you. God bless you. You are like a direct message to South Korea. South Korean people, you know, South Korean citizens, everybody who stood up against this, you were some of the bravest, most amazing people I've ever seen. Like, I could not, this is exactly the type of thing I try to do on a daily basis, and like every single person who stood up to this is, in my book, a hero, an actual hero, a bastion of freedom and peace and whatever else. Regardless, like, some of these people are awful people. Some of these people are assholes. Some of these people are degenerates. Some of these people are whatever else. But the fact of the matter is, they still did the right thing. And I don't care, like, I'm going to say this. I don't care about the law. I care about what the right thing is. This is all legal, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it was illegal, because it was wrong. And if anybody stands up for, like, what is right, and anybody who, like, stands up to what is wrong, it's like, let me put it this way. When I was, I'll say this. I was trying to be a cop for Baltimore City, but I was very vocal, and that's one of the reasons why I was considered too much trouble. And one of their policies is that pregnant women can go out on patrol. They can be exposed to those drug dealers, to psychopaths, mental health situations while pregnant. And this is part of the whole feminism, whatever else. I don't care if the woman wants to go out when she's not pregnant. But I raised a big stink about it the second I heard it in front of everybody in the class. And people were like, Proctor, sit down. But it's like, I wasn't going to, because you're endangering the life of a baby over the feelings of a woman. And until, like, and they can't seem to grasp that wanting to protect a pregnant woman isn't demeaning the woman. It's because they don't want that baby to die. They don't want that baby to be born with, like, you know, birth defects and stuff. And it's like, and you know, I was very vocal about it. And again, that's one of the reasons why I got fired. Yeah, it got me fired, but at the very least, people agreed with me. People understood where I was, and because of that, I was like I was working with kids in the community. People respected me. It's just somebody took what I said out of context, and you know, basically it was like the third incident of that happening because I word things poorly because I have horrible social skills. Like I still like whenever it came to our scenarios, like professionally dealing with people, I always did great. But whenever it came to like talking personally with other cops and stuff, sometimes I said stuff horribly, like I do here. Sometimes I say stuff horribly, and it's just whenever you see something wrong, it's important that even if it puts you at risk, like don't needlessly endanger yourself, but don't let yourself be walked all over. Don't let yourself be taken advantage of. Don't let yourself be controlled over somebody's ego or over somebody just wanting to do whatever they want to do. Because as soon as you let that happen, like, you're not complicit, you're just... It's like, what's the point? What's the point of even, like, you have no right to complain. I think that's what I was trying to get at. As soon as you let this happen, you say, well, it's not my problem, it can never be your problem. Because you said it's not your problem. And even though you knew, like, how bad it could be. So, just don't let people walk all over you. South Korea, South Korean citizens, everybody stood up against this. You were lovely, amazing, heroic people, and I aspire to be even half as amazing as even half of you are. Just straight to South Korea. Just me to South Korea. This is my message to you. I aspire to be exactly like that. To say, screw the law, or screw, what other people think. I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do. And everybody here, just do the right thing. Do the right thing and don't let people take advantage of you. Do the right thing and don't let people hurt you. If you see somebody in an abusive situation, try to step in. Try to do what you can to help them out. If you feel uncomfortable doing that, try to find somebody who's willing to do that. If you're being hurt, if you're being taken advantage of, don't let it keep happening. If you're worried they're going to hurt you, go find somebody who will protect you. Even if it's just the police, even if it's just a hospital, like, yeah, your situation might get a little shittier. You might have a lower quality of life for a while, but you won't effectively be like a slave. You won't be a punching bag. You won't be just somebody's thing to do whatever they want with. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much what I fight against. That's why I want to talk about this, because I am so sick of seeing people treated as things. I'm sick of content create. Like, I understand, don't let a parasocial relationship develop too much. But as a content creator, you cannot look at your audience as just things. These are people. Each and every one of them are people who came together and made you successful or got you into the position you're in. It's because of those people. Not because of those tools, not because of those viewers, it's because of those people. And, don't let, like, obviously, anybody in my chat, don't try to get all, like, cozy with me, like, we can be friends, we can be pals, we can play Monster Hunter and stuff, like, don't get, like, super personal, don't get all flirty, don't talk about, like, oh, Becky at work pissed me off, or whatever. It's like, yeah, we gotta have that barrier of, I'm still a content creator and you're still a viewer, and there is that power dynamic. It's not as bad right now, obviously, but as I grow, it will get bigger. And then as soon as we get to that point, it's like, it gotta just make sure the ground rules are there. If you want to talk about something that, you feel like you have nobody else to talk about, I'm willing to listen. I mean, the best I'll be able to do if it's something serious is, like, provide resources, contact the local authorities maybe. That's the best I could do. But, it's like, people like this president, this disgusting, degenerate piece of fucking pathetic worm food. These people, not even people, just subhuman garbage. Garbage like that. They're ones who got popular, and then the people below them, they're just like, oh, you're just okay, you outlived your usefulness. And that's disgusting behavior to me. I see y'all, and, like, obviously it's not like, it's like, I'm like, oh, I'm so happy to be here and stuff, and it's true. I am happy to be here, and I am so grateful to y'all. But I also know you're just people, you're in your own situations. Yeah, I'm like, hey, here's a GoFundMe if you want to help me get a laptop that can run WoWs at a good, whatever. If you want to see WoWs in good quality. It's like a transactional thing, right? But at the same time, it's also a way to, like, build, community whatevers. Because it's also a way for me to show that I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. And just the fact somebody can get into the head of a country, like a president of a country, just into that position of power. Somebody in like Logan Paul's or Jake Paul's or, you know, whoever else's situation where they have like all these fans, all these people admiring them, and they just shit on them. They just shit on them. They shit on. They try to take control. They try to take power. They try to take the money because it's all about me, 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 me. And I can't stand that. So, and that's why I want to talk about this. Like, it's not just the political stuff. It also ties into being like a content creator, being an actor, being whatever else. You know, you can be like a super popular chef making millions of dollars a year, you know, because of how good your food is. You could be like a mechanical engineer making millions of dollars a year, but you don't have to have this audience. So this doesn't really apply to those people. Like, obviously still be a good human being. Don't try to take advantage of people. But, you know, if you're like an actor, a content creator, a politician, you know, there's people individually who believes in you and believes you will make a better change for them. And it is your duty. It is your obligation to improve their lives in whatever way you promised you would improve their lives. Or at least do your best to do so. My goal is to try to amuse y'all, make y'all laugh. Sometimes I'll make these serious streams, serious videos to make y'all think. Because this is, like, I want to impose these beliefs onto other people. Not forcefully, of course, but I want to be like, you know, hey, this is how I think and I believe it's right. And I think it's right to want to not hurt people. I think it's right to want to do your best to keep the people around you safe and healthy. Not necessarily happy. And that's something I told a friend. There was a friend of mine who was really struggling. He was a really bad drug addict. And I was really harsh with him sometimes. And he'd be like, you know, hey, why are you so mean to me? And I said, well, I don't care about your feelings right now. I care about your health. The first thing I'm going to focus on is your well-being and your health. Then I'm going to care about your feelings. Because that's what a friend would do. That's what somebody who cares would do. Like, and obviously, I'm not y'all's friend. You know, I'm a content creator. And, you know, there's some of us who are closer. I would say Neon, he's kind of getting close to that friend status. You know, because he's a moderator. He's active in the community. He's helping me out. You know, Koi, Oreo, you know, y'all are kind of like getting to that point. Because we interact a lot. And we're kind of like getting to know each other a bit more. Like, obviously, we're still acquaintances. We don't, like, personally know each other. But it's kind of getting to that point. And, you know, but not even just as a friend, but as somebody who just cares in general and only wants the best for other people, I feel it is necessary and important to focus on somebody's health and well-being first over their happiness. And that's what upsets me about this. Like, I can understand if, let's say, there's horrible, provable stuff happening. Let's say, you know, somebody came in America, they're like, okay, I want to do a coup because, you know, I want to stop these companies from hurting they're literally abusing their employees, and there's like no regulation and whatever else. And it's kind of come in and forcefully impose, okay, these people are getting abused, these people are getting taken advantage of, these people are living through hell, and nobody's doing anything about it. So they kind of like forcefully come in like, all right, stop this, here's some regulations, and then they step back. I wouldn't be super opposed to that. I think that would be a little excessive to some extent, but if the situation called for and it came to that, it's like, okay, it is what it is. But at the same time, if somebody's just like, you know, oh, I just want to step in because I want to do things my way, it's like, yeah, there's a difference. So, again, you know, I'm not saying I approve of like crazy anarchy and coups and stuff. I am not approving of that. But just wanting to make sure yourself and the people close to you, at the very least, are happy and healthy. That's like the bare minimum I think, you know, people should do. Like, focus on yourself, make your health better. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish and don't be greedy. Because it's selfishness and greed that leads to a lot of this. And if you spend your life just trying to make sure, you know, you're not hurting anyone, and then you also spend your life focusing on improving yourself, while also, you know, maybe slipping in some ways to like improve the lives of the people around you. Like me, for example, I am, you know, working really hard, I'm streaming and stuff, and I'm trying to improve my own situation. But I also want to provide entertainment for y'all. I also want to talk about situations like this so that I can pretty much just raise awareness for it. Because that's the bare minimum I can do, like at the very least. And, you know, that's what I'm trying to do. And I don't think anyone should be like forced into action or like pressured into action. But if there's something wrong you see and you know you can do something about it, do something. Because otherwise, you're going to have a president that's going to try to make a coup, take over the entire country, and basically enslave you. They're going to enslave you. They're going to, you know, beat you. They're going to hurt you. Maybe not you specifically. They'll do it to lots of other people. And even if your life doesn't change, if you know you can do something, especially if you can do something without hurting or endangering yourself or anybody close to you, do it, because it's the right thing to do. And doing the right thing is something I will always live by. If you do the right thing, you're doing nothing wrong. That's all I can say. If you're doing the right thing, if you're doing the best you can to do the right thing, you are doing nothing wrong. Maybe you're doing something naive, maybe you're doing something dumb, maybe you're doing something, reckless, potentially. Probably not reckless. Reckless is probably wrong, because if you're reckless, you're like willfully ignoring all the warning signs. But if you know you can do something and you're doing the right thing, you are doing nothing wrong. And at the end of the day, that is all that matters to me. That is all that matters to me. I don't care about people being assholes. I don't care about people being rude. I don't care about people having a chip on their shoulder. What I care about is people doing the right thing. And if people don't do the right thing, that's what upsets me. If somebody tries to take control of a country and make it a dictatorship, that's what upsets me. If people say, oh, well, this drug dealer that could have, just gone for help, giving his kids up for adoption, whatever else, they're like, oh, but they decided to deal drugs and hurt other people to benefit themselves, that's what upsets me. And as much as I preach about that whole drug dealer thing, I know I said that I was homeless before. I was willing to give up my dogs. If I could find a place that guaranteed their safety, but they wouldn't be euthanized for any reason, and they're like willing to tolerate them, I was willing to do that. A pound, 50-50 chance they'd be euthanized. Not going to happen. And I was asking around. I was asking people for help. I was asking like, hey, if I'm homeless, I'm fine. But I don't want my dogs being hurt. I don't want my dogs to be in a situation where they could be euthanized. And that's why I still have them, because I couldn't find any situation like that for them. So, I would say this, as much as I talk about like parents, brothers, sisters, whatever else, I would say if you are trying to do if you're making a decision out of selfishness, let's say, oh, well, somebody could take care of the dogs better than I could. They'd have a home. They'd be happy and provided for. And I said, no, I want to keep them. That'd be selfish. I'd be doing the wrong thing. So it is still a gray area. Like, there's a lot of layers to this. But pretty much just do the right thing. Don't be selfish. Don't be greedy. Even if, I would have been extremely, extremely depressed without them in my life, because they're all I have for, like, unconditional love and support. It's like, it would be selfish of me if I had a safe place to put them where they'd be happy and well cared for, and I didn't put them there. And I already had to make that decision with a puppy. Like, I had a puppy named Lucky. I wanted to keep her. She, when I was in corrections as well. I was in corrections training before I became a a prison guard, whatever. And she got caught up in some wire for a long time because I was still there. Nobody was willing to go down under the house and get her, so I went down under the house and I got her. And she survived almost 2 days with no milk, whatever. This is a 2-week-old puppy, by the way. 2 weeks. And yeah, she grew up into a runt. Half her foot necrosed off. She actually chewed it off because she was a psycho. But yeah, she survived. She was happy. She was running around and wanted to keep her. But I couldn't afford to keep her. And there was a couple who pretty much rehomed dogs to, no-kill shelters. Not no-kill shelters. They were like a no-kill shelter almost, but it was like a big house. They had like a mansion, and they had like these dog kennels out back, and they're taking care of the dogs and socializing them together and stuff. And they pretty much what they did was they moved them, put them around the country to people who wanted pets. They shipped them off to, like good houses and stuff. And they would do like background checks on the people and everything else. And what happened was that these, I had to give up those puppies. I also tried giving them, at least one of my dogs, but they're aggressive to other dogs, so any aggression is a no-go for them. So, yeah. And I'm sorry, I want a whole personal thing here. That's pretty much what I was getting at. Do the right thing. If you see somebody trying to take over your country, don't recklessly endanger yourself, but also don't just sit back and let it happen. And if even if something minor, like if you see somebody going down a dark path, starting to use drugs or something, try to step in if you're able to, safely do so if you're like really close to them, and try to talk them out of it, because you just might save their life. Anyway, I didn't mean to preach so long. This has been just an hour of me yapping, and I apologize if anybody kind of, got a little sick of it. Again, I didn't really mean to go off on a huge tangent or anything, but I just really want to talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and call it an early day. I know it's only been an hour, but there's some things I do need to get sorted out. And also, I kind of want to cook today. That's going to take me a little longer than usual, but I'm going to go now. Thank everybody for being here. If you want to support the channel, like, comment, subscribe on YouTube if you want to, or dislike. It's fine if you dislike this. Again, I'm not going to do these like political or whatever streams, whatever. I'm not going to try to grandstand. It's just, this is what I try to do, and as somebody, like, everything I talk about is something I try to do or something I personally believe in, and it's just, I just try to do my best, but I can also, this also won't happen a lot. This is going to be mostly focused on Monster Hunter, but again, somebody tried to take over an entire country, so that's why I like, that's millions and millions and millions of people's lives being put in danger over some man's ego. So that's where I like step in. I'm like, okay, I need to raise awareness about this and all that stuff. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go for now. If you want to support the channel, become a member on Patreon or YouTube. You'll get monthly, at least once a month, you'll get an update on like what your money goes towards. Usually dog food. Last time it was to feeding me, because I was giving up my food to feed my dogs for a couple of days because I ran out of dog food. And yeah, the Patreon money came in clutch, and I was able to get food for a couple of days. So thank you guys on Patreon for that. Also YouTube members as well, and Twitch subscribers, of course. I haven't forgot about y'all. Yeah, just support the channel however you want, if you want to, or you can help, go to the GoFundMe and help me get the laptop, or you can just watch and be here. Like I said, I don't care if like, everybody has their own situation, and I'm like, people who are like selfish and greedy and stuff, I don't care if you can't support. I'm just glad you're here. I'm glad you care about me. I'm glad you care about my beliefs and my opinions and my, way of thinking. I'm glad you care about my dogs. I'm glad you just care about what I have to say about these situations. And, yeah. So, again, just a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of opening up. I hope it doesn't make people too uncomfortable. But, yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye now.